I wanted to talk about soil health and how we manage our biodynamic farm to grow tropical fruit trees. We try to make it as closed loop as possible. We follow the 5 soil health principles. We initiated that about 3 years ago. And which meant stop mowing. So we stopped mowing and let the lawn grow. We had our homeowners insurance policy canceled, and had to get it reinstated, and neighbors complaining about the unkempt appearance, and basically discarded by the Tropical Fruit Forum as a quack. So it's been a lonely journey to share with people natural farming and tropical fruit in Florida and how easy it is. We have lots of requests for our fruit, which is nice. I just want to be able to eat so many top-tier mangoes that I can't eat them all. And I'm hoping maybe this year it'll be the year. So, but back to soil health. So we quit cutting, and then I did an inventory of most of the weeds that were popping up, like this, and the biddens, the Spanish nettle, and weeds with bad names that shouldn't be repeated probably, and found out that most of them were native species, and each one attracted a different type of bee or wasp, and it's the bugs I noticed right away. The bugs, there was like lots of bugs. It's Florida, there's lots of bugs. Yeah, I've been told that. Bugs like to eat, and this was the perfect buffet. And it changes. Like before, I used to have like this cinkweed, C-I-N-C-H, and I even used to make tea out of it, a yeast tea. And but it grows in marginal soils, and I can't find it anymore. So I'm sure I could if I really looked, but now it's mostly clovers and other things. I mean, there's easily 50 different types of plants growing up in this cover throughout the year. And it stays about 2 feet tall. And then I want to get into our organic biodynamic fertilizers. because people get hung up on fertilizers and what they are. And for organic, it's not Osmocote. And Osmocote damages a biodynamic system. So you're not going to get biodynamic results with Osmocote. So the plants that are the fertilizer. The most important fertilizer is the plant. We don't water any of our mangoes, and we never have, and we don't water any seed-grown trees, which there's a lot of. And this cover definitely doesn't get watered. So I used to try to plant trees I would remove all of this fertilizer, all of this plant, because we're on sand, we're on fine sand, and the best way to put the carbon fertilizer into the soil, which is our biggest problem with the sand, is with the living root. So removing like a 3-foot section and then pulling the weeds out, removing all that fertilizer, your tree is gonna die. So wood chips will not help it for a little while, but wood chips create their own problem. I like wood chips, but I want to talk about high-end organic fertilizers first, and then I'll talk about the important bottom ones, the nitrogen levels. So for a tropical fruit tree system, trees like fungal soil, so you want to have a fungally dominant soil, which is low nitrogen inputs, like 5% and below. So all of our inputs, we use the cow manure after a plant fertilizer is the zebu manure is the best one that I've ever come across. And it disintegrates completely in water. There's nothing left when you add water. And it works. I don't want to do a mango video because I want to wait until they're bigger. But other good fertilizer would be a compost. If you have to purchase a compost, that would be great, but we make our own, and you should make your own. Everyone has plant debris, so it's not that hard to make your own. Start your own worm farm, because worm castings could replace the cow manure for your input, your high quality, low nitrogen input, though they're a little bit higher, I believe, than worm castings. Anyway, so compost, and you don't need very much. We do about 50 pounds per acre. So that's one 50-pound sack for an acre of land a year. I know there's some good living soils out there, but that's cheap. I mean, that's cheap fertilizer, and it's one time for a year. This raw sapote has been producing for 2 years in a row. It's like one of my favorite fruits. When I'm eating, it's the favorite, for sure. Anyway, so, and then I would do all the teas and humus. Humus is another top tier fertilizer. So farm collected or yard collected living soil teas and applied. Those are all excellent. And I don't think you can do too many of those because it's being applied in such microscopic amounts that probably if you could do it every day, it would be excellent, I would guess, as a spray. But I'm talking about in a living system with, you know, for tropical fruit trees. But, and then it gets down to all your other carbon fertilizers, like all your debris is like low nitrogen. Even your grass, I believe, is only, grass clippings are 5% nitrogen, so they just get eaten up quicker. So at the top tier of the brown debris, I would put grass or hay, like alfalfa hay, if you could find it organic, which I don't believe you can, and just different hay. Hay is input as a fertilizer before wood chips because it breaks down so quick, so you get quicker results. Because you want your system to turn over rapidly, so you want the stuff. You want slow also, but you want to keep the biological activity happening continuously, if possible. If the temperature's right and you have the right amount of water. Water definitely helps. I'm not gonna. Mangoes seem okay with it, but it helps everything else from what I can tell, except for sugar apples don't seem to mind, mostly notice. But anyway. So, yeah, the grass or leaves and the finer stuff that breaks down quicker. And I like to look at the whole landscape as a compost pile and think of it in terms of carbon and nitrogen. So, which you wanted about 60% carbon and 40% nitrogen. So 60 brown and 40 green, which is not how this runs that you can see on top, but below ground, it probably produces that much in droppage just from the debris falling from the dead grass onto the soil surface continuously. And each one of these plants, these little machines, these photosynthesizers, are amazing. I also found that this Bidens aided my, I had poor, gut health, really bad. I started eating it and it helped it, it fixed it. So that was a nice surprise. So then after all that stuff is the high fungal wood debris, which you want a lot of that. If you had wood chips, you'd just scatter them in here, you know, but it's just me, and I'm like elderly or getting that way, and I have to make it as easy as possible, and this disappears within a year. So there'll still be the main log a little bit there, but it'll mostly be gone. So this is all the 60, 40, 60 green, 40, or 60 brown, 40 green. It's not a pleasing look to a lot of people, but you can make it look better. The more plants you add into a wild-looking system of your own, the better it starts looking. It's just a matter of adding more diversity. But you want diversity. That's a key component of making this system work. Anyway, I just wanted to give a talk on soil health and how to fertilize it for tropical fruit trees. I hope this helps.